Just wanted to let you know that your test results came back, and the diagnosis is you've got a bad case of loving the Ron Van Dam show. Now, it's curable, but if loving this show is wrong, do you really want to be right? You are listening to the Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Okay, whatever.
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program of enormous proportions. Look at the size of this thing. Oh, my God. Hey, relax. I'll take it from here. Did you brush your teeth? Seriously. Brush your teeth. Okay. That's enough. Yeah, I went to the dentist recently. Oh, my God. The only reason I really go to the dentist is I like to be verbally abused. That's pretty much it. They've got this whole thing figured out, this whole dentist thing. They got it all figured out, and they're all the same. This is what they teach them in dental school. What they do is they're very, very nice to you in the dental office. Very, very nice. And then this lovely dental assistant calls me into a little room where they sit me in a chair that resembles a torture implement. They're very, very pleasant, and they talk to you very, very nice. How are you? How's everything? And they're very, very nice, and they try, this isn't going to hurt. Every time I'm just cleaning your teeth, and they're very, very pleasant, and it's usually a female. I don't know why that is, but hey, if someone's going to put their hands in my mouth, it might as well be a woman. I mean, because I don't know. Women, better in my mouth than men. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. I'm a guy. I feel that way. But then all bets are off. Then you sit in the chair a little bit, and all of a sudden, the dentist comes in. The actual dentist. And the dentist, whether it be male or female, it doesn't matter at this point. Usually a male again, will chew me out, will verbally abuse me, will strip me of all my defenses, and he basically will take a verbal whip at me and say, "What the hell is wrong with you, Van Dam? What the hell is wrong with you? You're not taking care of your teeth." And I'm telling you right now, that's the most important. High gas prices, high food prices, violence in the streets. Look, that has nothing, doesn't even come close to your abuse of your own molars. You are a sniveling, foolish little piece of crap because you don't take care of your teeth. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you floss, Van Dam? Yeah. No, you don't. Don't lie to me, you sniveling piece of crap. Don't lie to me. You don't floss. I can tell you don't floss. What do you think? I just came in here from downstairs? I went to dental school for 27 years, and I know if somebody flossed or not. Don't you lie to me, you son of a bitch. You did not floss, and you know it. Let me ask you another question. Let me just ask you another question. How often do you brush every day? Well, when I get up and when I go to bed is when I brush, sir. Oh, really? You know, you're supposed to brush after every meal and every snack and every time you take a breath. You're supposed to brush. I want you to brush. I want you to brush. Do I have to follow you around and make sure that you brush? Let me ask you another question. How often do you change your toothbrush? I'm supposed to change my toothbrush. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're supposed to change your toothbrush. You know, most people say every 3 months. I say every month because it's supposed to wear down because of use of the toothbrush so much. But you don't use your toothbrush at all, do you? I know you don't. I can see it in your face. Look, I've had it with you. You should be embarrassed. You should have a sign around your neck that says, I do not floss, and I am a piece of crap. And you should wear that sign in front of everybody all day until I shame you into taking care of your teeth. Because what's the most important thing in the world? Putting your kids through college? Feeding your children? Educating your children? No, that's stupid stuff. The most important stuff in the world is you cleaning your freaking teeth. How would you feel if I came into your mouth right now? Excuse me? That's don't make fun of me, Van Dam. That's not at the end of the sentence. What if I came into your teeth right now with pliers and started taking all your teeth out? You know, that can happen someday if you don't take care of your teeth. And I mean it because I paused a lot between every one of those words that I just said. Take care of your teeth. I don't know how to pound that into your head. You think that you're big stuff, don't you? You think just because you do a little talk show every once in a while. Well, sir, I do that every week. Oh, shut up. Don't talk to me like that. You think just because you do a talk show that you know everything. Well, let me tell you something. You don't know teeth. I know teeth. You see that diploma? I can't even talk. I'm so upset. You see that diploma on the wall? That's my diploma. I went to school for that. My family spent tons of money to get me through dental school. Do you think I'm going to throw that all away because you don't floss? I don't think so, bub. And I call you Bub. I know your name, but I'm calling you Bub anyway. Now I'm going to leave the room right now, and you're going to go to the front desk and you're going to pay for this in so many ways. And the next time I see you, your teeth better be squeaky clean. Otherwise, I will kill you. My dentist didn't really say that, but that's what I got from it. That was what he basically was saying. That's why, and we all do this, and don't tell me you don't. But we all do this. If we have an appointment at the dentist, just before we go to the appointment, we go home or somewhere with a sink and we brush our teeth and we floss. Why would you spend all that time just before you go when the dental assistant is going to clean your teeth anyway? That's the time that you shouldn't brush or floss because what's the point? They're going to do it. That's like having house cleaners. And before the cleaners show up in your house, you pick things up so that your house doesn't look a mess. Why are you doing that? That's cleaners do it. Why would you clean something when the cleaners are going to do it in a couple of minutes? Because you don't want to be yelled at. You don't want people to think that you're a slob or an idiot or you don't take care of yourself. But why do we brush our teeth before we go to the dentist? It's because of what I just displayed to you. We don't want to be embarrassed. We want the professionals to think that we really are good people. I said this yesterday on the show or the day before. I have no concept of time anymore, by the way. When you go to the doctor's office for a checkup, you make sure that your weight is down. You don't want to get on that scale and have the nurse's assistant there at the doctor's office say, "Oh, Lord, look, you gained a lot of weight, you foolish slob, you obscene piece of." You don't want them to say that. You want that chart to show that you are taking care of yourself. That's what we do. That's more important to us than anything is the impression that we make on other people. Except for people that wear sweatpants all day. That I don't understand. Why, when you go out in public, would you wear sweatpants? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Do you know how bad you look in sweatpants? It's not form-fitting. It says to the world, I don't care. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And you think just because you have the logo of a designer on the leg of your sweatpants, that makes it okay? No, that's laughable. That's laughable. Why don't you just walk down the street in torn underwear and put the logo of a famous designer on the side of your panties? It's stupid. It's just stupid. Stop wearing sweatpants. Most people like to look good. You, not so much. Now, what I've done here is I have torn you apart and embarrassed you, and that's apparently how we do things. Look, we have a president of the United States whose main course of communication is to tear other people down, call them names, try to destroy them, sue them in court, strip them of all their dignity, call them foolish, call them traitors. This is what our president does in order to express himself. So what do you expect? I always like to throw a little political jab into these programs because, what the hell? It doesn't do anything. What's the point? I don't know. I guess it makes me feel better about myself. I have no idea. I wear sweatpants. Yes, I do. Thanks for asking, by the way. Yes, I do wear sweatpants. In my house, where I live with people who already accept me for the slob that I am privately. But when I go out in public, I don't wear sweatpants. I'm sorry, but I don't. When I go to the gym, I'm sorry. I can't say that with a straight face because I don't go to the gym. And gym, by the way, is short for gymnasium. So I don't understand the whole thing. But yeah, I'll wear sweatpants if I'm going to work it all out. I got to work it out. I belong to an organization called The Why, which is apropos because that actually is a question. Ron, where do you work out? Why? Well, I thought I'd just ask. I'm not really that interested, but I'm just asking where you go to exercise. Why? Are you questioning me? No, that's where I go to exercise, at the Y. Oh, you mean the YMCA? Yes, but it's so many letters for me to remember. I just say the Y. Well, this makes it sound like it happened in Costello routine. Generation gap. Generation gap. Millennials and newer born people don't know who Abbott and Costello are. Isn't that a law firm out of Rhode Island? No, Abbott and Costello was a comedy team back in the 40s and 50s. Oh, how are we supposed to know that? Okay, but that was their bit. You say why, and it's okay. Anyway, this is making, it's funny. This is making no sense even to me, and I'm supposed to know what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. But I do belong to the Y. And it is apropos because I don't know why. I don't know why I belong. There's a membership fee that I have to pay. Why would you go? Why is the name of the place that I'm supposed to go to? And the few times that I go to exercise at the Y, that is the question, as I'm spending half an hour on a treadmill walking to some place that I'm never going to. There's a little television screen in front of me. I can watch television. That's nice. I can do that at home. Yes, but Ron, when you watch television at home, you're not walking. Why? But I'm exercising and sweating in my sweatpants amongst other people who are exercising and sweating in their sweatpants. It's a community of disgustingly sweaty people. I always believed that when you sweat profusely, that should be in private. But for some reason, we like to sweat together. We go to these gymnasiums, or why, I don't know, and we all sweat together. It's a community of sweating, heavily breathing people. Why would I want to be in a room with people that are breathing heavily? I remember COVID. I remember the flu, various diseases, sneezing, getting colds. Why would I want to be in a room with sweaty people who are exhaling excessively? I wouldn't, and I don't. It makes no sense. If you're going to sweat, do it in a private setting. Some people go to a sauna. That's where you really sweat. Why would somebody lock themselves in a tiny, tiny room with the temperature of 150 degrees? I don't know how hot it is in there. I don't think it's 150, but it's very, very hot. And they sit there with basically no clothes on because they're sweating. And they're looking at each other almost completely naked as they sweat. This is something that happens. This is what people do every once in a while on purpose. It cannot be. Oh, no, no, no. It cannot be. But it is. We do weird things. That's what we do. No, I do not sit in a tiny room sweating my ass off with other people. No, I don't want people to see me sweat like that. It's not their business. It's not the image that I wish them to have of me. If you go into a sauna and you're sitting there with another person, man, I'm a man, I'm sitting there with another man, we're both sweating, practically naked. What the hell do you talk about? So how's the wife? Fine. How's your wife? Fine. Hot in here, huh? Yeah, it is hot. I'm sweating. How about you? Me too. Can you feel the beads of sweat, like rolling down the sides of your legs into your crotch area? Yeah, I can. Yeah. Do you feel better sitting here sweating? No. Are you comfortable talking to me where we're almost completely two naked men sweating their asses off in a tiny room? Does this make you feel comfortable? Not at all. Me neither. What are we doing? I don't know. Let's get out of here. Okay. It is so freaking weird. It is so weird. We do the weirdest things, man. Not me, you. I don't do those things. You do. The few times that I've been to a gym in my life, and I guess they name it after some guy named Jim. No, it's Gymnasium, Ron. I know, I just said that. Yeah, I'm watching people work out. I'm watching people lifting things. Yeah. What do you want to do today? Is there a place I can go where I can watch people lift things? Yeah. How about the gymnasium? Yeah, it's a good place. Come on, let's go watch people lift things. Let's go watch them lift things that are way too heavy to lift. That's a good idea. Yeah, because that makes your body, gives yourself more tone and more muscle. Lifting things that are way too heavy to lift. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, it does, right? I guess. What do you wear for that? Sweatpants with a little logo on the side of the leg. Do you have a logo on the side of your leg? No, mine are just like gray. Oh, that's ridiculous. So stupid. All right, whatever. I give up. I just give up. Sometimes in society I have to give up. When I'm in the supermarket and the prices are like so much higher than they were last week, or I try to fill my car up with gas because I need for it to take me from place to place, and every day the price is higher, I give up. Just give up. I can give up. What's the point? I mean, is it just me, or is everybody going through this, but they just go, well, that's the way it is? I don't like that's the way it is. that doesn't sit right with me. That's not a good excuse. Why? YMCA. I'll take a break. When we come back, I'm going to have a guest here to entertain and inform. But first, there's this.
Hello, this is Father Mike Slannery of the Our Lady of the Sacred Spatula Church here in town, and I wanted to publicly apologise for the church's recent presentation of the one-man musical review, Jesus, Live and Off the Cross. Our rectory assistant, Marjorie Griffin, who is usually very sharp about these kinds of things, and who was responsible for events like our recent excellent visitation and speech by the Pope's brother's friend's dentist niece, admits that she did not do nearly enough research on the show, and like me, was expecting a programme more along the respectful lines of Godspell or Jesus Christ Superstar. If you were in the audience that evening, you know that this was not the case. We did not know, for example, how racy the song There Is Something About Mary would be, and were just as shocked as many of you at the way it provided unnecessary and probably historically inaccurate details about our Lord and Saviour's relationship with Mary Magdalene. I double-checked, and as I suspected, the words "hitting it from the back" never appear in the Bible. Had I thought to look at the song list before the show, I might have suggested the actor take out the rap number called Loaves and Fishes, Bitches, and the crucifixion number titled Let Me Get My Hands on You, Pontius Pilate. Well, the less said about that, the better. We are still cleaning the stage. Full refunds for anyone who wants one are available at the rectory office of the Our Lady of the Sacred Spatula Church, 27 Eucharist Way, which is open weekdays from 9 to 4, but not between 1 and 1:30 when Marjorie takes lunch. And please remember the teachings of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ and forgive us.
We're talking about motorcycles and motorcycle safety. Because this is Safety Awareness Month, apparently, as it's kicking off. This is kind of amazing to me because apparently we're talking about cycle gear, and I didn't know that it was that advanced. And apparently, in a car you have airbags, but I always figured on a motorcycle, what do you actually have to protect yourself? I guess there is something now, right?
Yeah, there's been a phenomenal development in technology over the past decade in motorcycle wearable airbag technology. So similar to cars, when the airbag is, within your steering wheel or in your dashboard, this is something the rider wears. So it's a vest or on that you wear while you're riding.
Wow.
And it's continually monitoring the rider, reducing impacts up to 97%, deploys faster than the blink of an eye. But yeah, the technology and motorcycle safety for the rider has developed light years over the past decade, keeping riders safe they're out on the road.
Wow. Gamma, you actually, you're a motorcycle enthusiast, and actually you know what you're talking about, don't you?
Yes, I am. I've been riding motorcycles since I was around 12 years old.
Yeah.
And, this technology has been amazing since it came out. I wouldn't say fortunate, but also not unfortunate to, test it out and see how it actually works.
Yeah. Are you an actual crash survivor?
Yes, I am. It was actually last year, April 4th, Friday night. I went out with my friends to grab dinner on just a normal, Friday night ride.
Right.
And as we're going down this road, we're about to reach this intersection. I see out of my peripheral view a vehicle just, blowing through a stop sign. Yeah, I've attempted to swerve out of the way as fast as I could. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough on that end, and that vehicle ended up clipping and T-boning me, where I got flung off the motorcycle about 15 to 20 feet, hitting my back and neck onto a curb. And I was so thankful that I was wearing the airbag that day because, it made so much of a difference that I walked out of that without a single bruise on my entire torso area.
Wow. Now, most riders don't wear airbags. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes, it's a technology that we're trying to promote Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month to make the public, riders, family, friends, and loved ones all aware that this technology exists, keeping riders safe out there. And obviously, from Guillerme's testimony, we can share that they definitely work, and would love to see more riders out there taking advantage of the technology.
Wow. It almost sounds like it should be mandatory. I mean, I hate that kind of, stuff where you do what you want to do, but I mean, you have to wear a seatbelt in an automobile, and then you have an automobile surrounding you. So, okay, motorcycle, there's nothing surrounding you, and you don't have to wear it. So, I mean, it should come to the point where this should be standard, right?
Well, we always, as having cycle gear stores in most every state in the United States, we like to respect everybody's right to, choose their level of safety. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's proven that the technology really out there does work. It does exist. It has evolved to keep riders safe. I mean, I lived in Jamaica Plain for a few years, and riding around Sturo Drive definitely can get a little bit hairy in rush hour. But at the end of the day, we think, we've been promoting this Airbag Save campaign for the past 3 years. We've sold over 25,000 airbags over the past few years, and really getting riders out there, keeping them safe. And we like to, it's great this year to be able to have Guillermo, in his testimony of how it protected him and walked away with nearly a scratch. And just want to make sure that folks are out there that are informed and understand that, they have the opportunity to ride safer. I think helmet, jacket, boots, and gloves are kind of the requirement for us. It's cycle gear, we like to say. So you never know what's going to happen. So being protected is the best way to mitigate risk, Ron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, helmets are mandatory in most states.
Correct.
So, I mean, why not go that far? Can you describe the actual airbag jacket to me? What does that look like?
Yeah, so it looks just like a vest, something the rider wears. It's not something that's on the motorcycle. It can go under your jacket. So it's a very unobtrusive piece of gear. It really feels kind of like just similar to if you had a Lycra vest. It has a back protector. There's a computer in the back of it that's constantly monitoring the rider with accelerometers and gyroscopes. So it's kind of looking, how the rider is behaving on the road. And in the event of a twitch or something, as Guillermo said that he swerved, the monitoring kind of deploys predictively almost to go off before the impact. So again, it's started in racing. It was mandatory in racing for the past decade at the highest levels of motorcycle racing. But then again, not something that gets in the way of the experience. And actually, when you do have it on, you definitely feel a higher level of safety and confidence as a rider.
Guillermo, riding a bike is somewhat of a macho thing, may I say, even though women do it too. They're macho women. Is there a psychological thing where, this is not good for me to wear because image-wise it's not good? I mean, do people actually think like that?
I don't believe so. I have yet to find anybody that thinks like that.
Good.
I myself believe today that, wearing an airbag every day is just as important as wearing your helmet and all your protective gear. Yeah. I personally now do not get out of my house to go ride without one.
Good. Well,
it just became part of my routine.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. People get very smart when they face something like that. All of a sudden they get very, very intelligent. Not that you weren't before, but I'm just saying, okay, yeah, now I get it, is pretty much where that comes from. All right. So how does one who's riding a bike now say to themselves, I want to find out more about this?
Well, you can go to cyclegear.com/airbags. You can visit one of our locations. We have a store in Woburn. We'd love for you to come by and educate you about the technology. And, Ron, I would be lying if I said I wasn't vain as well. I mean, we all want to look cool out there, but the way the technology is developed, it's under your jacket. And so you can be protective, safe, and cool all at the same time. So no excuse for you motorcycle riders out there in the Northeast.
Wow. Someday you should develop it. They should develop it so when you're walking in a shopping mall, if someone knocks into you, then you're safe, But I guess maybe that's a little much. I don't know. Well, this is incredible technology, and it's about time it came along. And thank you to the both of you for being with us and telling us about it, because otherwise we wouldn't even know.
That's why we're here.
Okay, and Cycle Gear, you just Google that and you'll find your locations?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.
Well, that'll do it for me today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new episode. But until that time arrives, I wish you peace. And don't forget to floss. Very important. Floss right now. Did you floss yet? I told you to floss. Floss. Floss it now.